Hello everyone. This is John Jenkins. You know, uh, if you watch my first French video, Pourquoi j'ai quitté le christianisme, that'll tell you, why I quit Christianity. I, it's not the whole story because ultimately I don't know uh, what led me to leave Christianity the final time. You know. But I wanted to talk about a little bit about friendship, and basically, you know, um, in friendship, uh, somebody, somebody, somebody has a quality that you admire. You know, somebody does something that you think is important. Like, for example, if you're Floyd Mayweather and you're an undefeated boxing champion, and on the other hand, on the other side of friendship, you have Justin Bieber. You're a teen pop sensation, and uh, little girls and soccer moms all over the world are howling at the moon every time they see you walk by. You know it. You know there's qualities in there's qualities in both people that that it's like a not it's not quite like a magnet like opposites attract. It's more like uh, uh, similar people attract and become friends. Chances are if you have friends that person probably is at you know more or less the same level of success as you. And in the Christian church is no exception. And But basically, you know within Christianity there's this commandment, that you have to you know love everyone, but especially the poor. It's more of an implied commandment because Jesus said, whatever you do to the least of these, you do unto me. So basically, the implied command is that you have to uh, you have to basically, you know, uh, basically that goes along with the whole commandment of that. How can a man say he loves God who he has never seen, and then say he hates his own brother who he sees every day? It basically, you have to love the you have to love people who are socially or economically beneath you, and you have to love other Christians, which uh, in my experience, the two tend to coincide depending on what church you go to. So basically, you have to be friends with people who you normally wouldn't associate with because you're afraid of going to hell. basically. And so, I've actually never cursed on a YouTube video, so I'm not going to use a certain terminology. But basically, uh, uh, you have these people who believe this religious dogma, and they believe that not necessarily that the Bible says this, but they actually they in their minds they believe that if they're not friends with the with the if they're not friends with everybody who's a Christian, everybody who at least everybody who's at their specific church or in their denomination. Like if they're not friends with everybody in church and if they're not nice to everybody in church, they believe that they're gonna go to hell. And it's sort of like it's sort of like if it's sort of like this gets a little bit personal, but it would be sort of like if you're in grade school and none of the kids like this. All the kids hate this one kid because he's from the projects, or his family's homeless. They don't like homeless people, or he wears torn clothes, or I mean he dresses unfashionably, so all the kids don't want to hang out with him. And then the teacher sees this, so you know she publicly shames all the children for not liking this one kid, and then she forces them to be nice to this kid. And what are they gonna do? Chances are, they're gonna be even more unliking of this person. Because when you try to force somebody to like somebody, if they do actually comply, it will be sort of this halfway in between, like superficial, sort of like uh, they might smile and say hello, but you know, you know, you'll never be a an integral part of their life. And it got me to thinking of one of the reasons why I'm glad I'm not a Christian is because hey, I mean, like this video here, I mean, I'll probably get if I'm lucky, I'll probably get one view on this video. But you know, at least that's honest. Somebody was searching through YouTube, which they have the freedom to do. I'm not PewDiePie, so they're not gonna force my channel upon you. I'm not YouTube Spotlight, so they're not gonna put my subscription into your subscription box and force you to watch my videos. And this is not an ad, so uh, you know they're not gonna force you to watch my video in any way. So if you're actually watching it, then you actually search for the subject. I haven't decided a name for this video yet, but you actually search a subject that this video covers, and the video came up. You saw my face. I don't hide my face behind a thumbnail. You know, you know, behind a copyrighted thumbnail or something like that I just took off the internet. So before you even see my video, you know what I look like. You can decide: do I want to listen to a guy who looks like this or not? And based on the subject that I'm talking about, you know, if you can read the tags, I'm not sure how to read tags for a video, but if you could read the tags, you know, uh, um, then you would know from the text, from the title, you know, you would see my face and say, do I want to listen to a guy who looks like this? And then you decide whether or not I'm worth your time. But with Christianity, you can't do that. You know, from the guy at church who's uh, from the guy at church who's uh, you know uh, sexually harassing women, or who's stealing money from the church, or who's you know doing all manner of things. You gotta be friends with all of them. That's what certain people believe, because they don't really believe in grace. They believe that you know they believe that their goodness is the only thing that's keeping them uh, in God's favor. You know, and uh, but I mean, and I can understand now that I'm no longer a Christian that it's best for everyone involved. I mean, even if you're not even if you're not the kind of person who's gonna make a lot of friends, even if you don't have anything that other people will be attracted to, it's best for everyone to be free to be honest about who they want to associate with. Because, if you're wasting your time around people who are only pretending to like you, and you're subsisting off of people who are only pretending to like you so that they won't go to hell, then you might be missing out on somebody who will associate with you because they actually like you for who you are. I mean, who knows? There could be somebody like that on this planet. Uh, you know, or ultimately uh, uh, you could decide that you can survive uh, as an independent person. You can get more work done by just working by yourself to achieve new goals and learn new things. And you you you're gonna have to crack open a book other than the Bible, because the Bible's nice, but it's certainly not the only book you need to read. So and it reminded me of this lady, and I won't say her name, but she was a minister at my church, and basically uh, she's in the country illegally. She overstayed her visa, and and you know basically her 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 desire to be at this church that I was going to was because that they were helping her skirt the laws and stay here legally. So she saw it was sort of it was like slavery. It's like slavery. She didn't want to be deported. Separated from her family. In America, and because obviously her kids are citizens, and she didn't want to you know deal with the shame of being thrown out of somewhere. So she's sort of like an indentured service. She does ministry for the church. In exchange, the church helps her stay in the country illegally. And you know I'll say this, she she didn't like uh, she really didn't like Americans, and you would see it at church every day. You know, people from her country, people who were from her country. She would invite people from her country to come to the church, and they would all sit in their own group together in a Bible study, and they would talk to each other during the Bible study. You know, and also translate for the ones who couldn't speak English. So they would talk to each other during the Bible study, and uh, after the Bible study was over, they would have their own private table. You know, uh, they sometimes I would sit at their private table because I just had that attitude that I just wanted to crash the party. But they would have their private table where they would all speak together, that where they would all eat together and speak in a foreign language, in their foreign language, and the people who they would meet outside of the they would know each other outside of church. They would invite each other places outside of church to interact with each other's families and visit each other's houses and stuff like that. And they wouldn't do that with the rest of us because in reality they were only associating us with us begrudgingly, and because of that they didn't really. It was sort of only halfway, just enough so I don't go to hell. I might not get the penthouse in heaven, but I won't be burning up basically. And you know and like you know it was intoxicating, to have to it's intoxicating to think, wow, this person is forced to be nice to me so I can, I don't have to be judged anymore. They're judging you, you're gonna be judged either way, so you might as well take the judgment, and go, you know what I mean? And take the judgment, uh, wholeheartedly. Don't try to deflect or uh, say. Don't try to say, well, Jesus loves me. You know, uh, don't try to say that. Just but but seriously, uh, that lady at the church. I mean, they had her doing some. I mean, they had her doing some nasty stuff. I mean, some just nasty stuff right there in the church, and and I witnessed it one time, and it was like that was. I think that was the. I think that was the final, you know, the final moment when I decided that I was no longer gonna believe in God because the type of nasty stuff they had her doing. But she wanted that she wanted the worldly benefit of not being deported, being able to skirt the laws of U.S. immigration, but at the same time she didn't want to go to hell. Um, so Christianity plays on people's fears and insecurities, but you know uh, the point is that because of her because of her uh, insecurities and her uh, and her in her, I would say, dishonesty, she she had to suffer because of that. I mean, what I'm saying is that she wants to spend all of her time around people who are not American, all of her time, you know, associating with people who are not American, who don't speak English. So, you know, she would she would probably be happier in her own country. And that's not a knock against immigrants. Uh, but I'm just saying is that uh, if you wanna make friends, you know, I think the best way to do that is to first, start paying your bills. You know, if you have pay what you can afford. If you can't afford that extra iPhone internet subscription, or the wireless connection for your iPhone, just sell the iPhone and get a well a cheaper phone that you can afford, or whatever, and or at least a phone without internet connection. You know, pay your make sure you pay all your utilities, pay your rent, pay off your credit cards, and I would say cancel the credit cards after you pay them. You know, and it'll be better to get direct deposit because you won't have to pay the monthly maintenance fees anymore. Uh, you know, and basically get your financial house in order. Uh, you know, uh, if you want to invest, that'll be another video. I'll talk about investing. But well, this is sort of like investing. Investing in yourself. You know, investing. Everybody thinks the stock market when I say investing, but you really need to invest in yourself, and that's what this is about. If you start paying your bills and you take out all the things that are weighing you down financially, you get rid of toxic relationships. People who are abusing you or stealing from you. You know, manipulating you. Uh, uh, if you're feeling desperate all the time, you need to switch that up. And then you need to uh, gain some skills. Now, you know uh, the skills you gain might not the skills you gain might not get you friends. I mean, it might not make you you know popular like PewDiePie or something like that. But you're going to you know I mean, most of the things you learn in life are not gonna make you money, basically. You know, uh, but if you learn new skills and you expand your mind, uh, you'll at least be functional. There will be more things that you can do. And you gotta practice regularly. Not necessarily every day. Like if you're studying art, you know, practice. I mean, it could be a few times a week. You know, you know, once a month is not enough. You gotta practice at least. I mean, a couple of times a week. To start. When you build up that willpower, you'll be able to work. You'll be able to practice. Every day, or you know, like nowadays I read 4 hours a day. And when I was a kid, you couldn't make me read for 10 minutes because So I couldn't do it back then, but today I read, 4 hours a day, But so gain new skills and get your life in order, and basically, if you take care of yourself, and be respectful to other people, to the police, and follow the laws and all this other stuff. And if you live a good life, you know, then if you live a responsible life, and you're not, smoking up your check, basically, uh, then a lot of people won't talk to you. But, but uh, if somebody does try to get in your life, I'm not talking about, panhandlers begging for $1. They're gonna beg you, you know, regardless. I'm saying, people who actually try to get in your life, they want to be involved with somebody who's living in a way that they approve of. So, it, it, certain people don't approve of you if you don't smoke weed every day, if you've never, done hard time. And there are some people who don't approve of you if you aren't the, best computer coder in the world, but you know, if you're just trying to learn new skills and trying to improve your life and trying to live responsibly, then you're more likely to attract people who are also trying to learn new skills and improve their life and live responsibly. So that's sort of my secret to friendship. As you can see, I really, I mean, I don't have any close friends, but uh, by moving out all the false friends that I used to hang out with, I can create space for the new friends, for the real friends, the ones that are going to lift me up instead of tearing me down. And I'm not the smartest guy in the world. My my potential is limited, but I can do better than I'd say 95% of the human population. So that's all I had to say about friendship. And let me know what you think, if you agree, disagree, and have a nice day. Bye.